Will you let yourself be rattled by vapid taunts, by the painting of stripes on tavern walls?
They are more than taunts. They are an insult to my sons. A challenge to my very legitimacy.
You are the Queen of Dragons. Your strength is your legitimacy.
Throughout this season, Rhaenyra is being pulled between Mysaria and Daemon. They both offer different visions of how her rule might play out.
Remember which one of us has been faithful.
And we see this sort of descent into tyranny.
It just goes to their difference in philosophy and the stresses on holding on to their claim here in the city and trying to take full control over the Greens. We know that Harrenhal is a strange place. The idea was to give Aemond a parallel experience to Daemon, if not exactly the same. It's a much more grounded Harrenhal story that still pays homage and service to the history of the castle and to the story we told in season 2.
Stay back! Stay back!
At the beginning of episode 5, Alice is very much Aemond's carer, and as we get to know her over the course of the episode, there might be something more.
It's really an unusual relationship. I think Alice sees a kind of familial connection with him.
Aegon, he's dead, because he'll not let me be.
Although Harrenhal does things to people, these dreams are coming from a deeper place inside.
Even though it's repressed, there is a massive amount of guilt for what he did to Aegon. And the sins of Aemond's past, they all come flooding back.
I'm sure he thought I was a terrible king, but what I could have been if I was given his fucking advantages.
Aegon has decided to stick to the story that this was done on purpose. Aemond is a power-hungry lunatic, and he would stop at nothing, including killing his own brother, to be in a position that he feels is owed to him.
You were a terrible king, but worse than that, you are a terrible man.
And for the first time, Aegon really understands what kind of ruler he was through Larys's eyes.
Eating dates and incense while Westeros is reduced to ash.
His grace is in no state to fight.
All throughout the series, he's just about to get Aegon onside and away to safety, and something happens, and the arrival of Thailand is a disaster for Larys.
You will call me Your Grace.
Obviously, it's him getting his revenge against the man for making him kiss his shitty boot. But I think it's also a reclamation of saying, don't they know I'm the fucking king? And we see him coming out of his funk. Larys left him in, at least with a little bit of clarity and purpose.
The rivermen have crossed and burned the bridge behind them.
There is a bit of an apocalypse quality to this, but it's really to de-romanticize the idea of Cole's campaign.
Gwaine feels for Cole's hardship, but Cole's bloody-mindedness at that point is immensely frustrating.
I thank you for your offer, Sir Gwaine, but my path is set before me.
And what is that path?
Gwaine's saying, I can offer you service to my house. It's a very different thing to offering someone service to their house as it is to offering someone a home. I think Cole's done being a servant.
I am the realm's greatest warrior, and I will die as such. And they will sing songs of it. And Queen Alicent herself will hear them.
For Gwaine, it was about defending the Greens, making Aegon king, and returning back to normal life. But for Cole, it was something different because Cole was never going to get what he truly wanted, which was a life with Alicent.
This is a guy who's seen as a heel for a lot of his time on the show, but you see this very pure expression of what one man sees knighthood as. I think there's a great tradition in Game of Thrones series of bringing these characters that normally would not cross over into each other's path and then seeing what happens.
You know me, I think.
My reputation.
And there was definitely a prospect of that with Mysaria and Alicent, now that Alicent's a hostage of Rhaenyra's in the castle.
Did you imagine I wouldn't be watching?
For Mysaria, it's really intriguing to be in a room with a Hightower, but to have more power than the Hightower.
There are a lot of similarities between Alicent and Mysaria. They both have the ear to very influential people, but they're not influential just as themselves. And ultimately, their life has been a life of ownership by other people. They've never truly been autonomous individuals.
Rhaenyra will do in the end what she has to do. There's only one who can walk that path with her, and she chose him long ago.
She knows what Daemon is.
There have ever been two sides of a coin.
Here are two powerful women, and in between them is the invisible presence of Rhaenyra, who is the person that ties them all together.
It's the first significant crack in Mysaria's faith in Rhaenyra.
Crenuntis nuhus kesir Ilsa. Tranquila Ilsa. Se interrarium. I think something that she speaks about that really resonates is the threat of something formless, she really talks to this paranoia that she's experiencing.
Daemon wants to reclaim his kingdom on behalf of his wife. And so suddenly to be confronted with this other element of foe is quite interesting.
Daemon is feeling rather impotent to a degree. I mean, he's able to play whack-a-mole and chase around these sort of faceless villains in the city, but he knows the real villain is 60 leagues away in a place where he can't yet reach him.
Let's start again.
Ormond's relationship with Daeron is a fascinating one. You get the sense that he genuinely does love Daeron, but also needs to be able to control his every move.
She has been focused on the Greens, but right under her nose, Ormond had this huge plan, essentially training her half-brother into taking the throne away from her.
Price of our humiliation.
They don't know how to wage combat against him, which is exactly the design of Ormond's campaign, is to make them feel helpless and ineffectual and frustrated and maybe goad them into making a mistake. His design at the end of the day is to make sure that nobody wants to be a gold cloak and people are afraid to mount a defense in Rhaenyra's name.
Who did this? As you see with his relationship with Luther Largent, they've gone back a long way. They're his team of people. He's always had an affinity with the gold cloaks. Obviously he's been away, but he's come back. He's still their sort of commander-in-chief.
By the end of episode 5, both Rhaenyra and the audience finally understand Ormond's true intent. If Aegon and Aemond can't be found, then he still has Daeron. He's an incredibly dangerous man, and Ormond will do anything and everything to destabilize Rhaenyra's reign.